Why? How? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome to C Minus Society. I am your host, Chaz Rodgers. This is a podcast where you get life advice from a bum. I know you're saying, why would I want life advice from a bum? Because this bum's doing all right now. So pretty much my whole goal from See My Society is to help anybody who feels stuck in a rut, take practical steps to get themselves out and get to be the person you see when you close your eyes. That's my entire goal, is to help people get to exactly where they want to be. And instead of being like some big time successful guy who's like, whoa, what I think you should do is you get to see me on the very beginning of my rise into my career. So me, I'm a comedian, television writer. You can IMDb some shit if you really want to. You go, I never heard of them shows. There's a lot of shows you haven't heard of, jerk. All right? There's a lot of shit out there. All right, it's hard to catch up with all this stuff, but I did it. Okay, it wasn't easy, but it took time, and I worked my ass off. When I got there. So get up off my back. All right, well, the rest of you, yeah, I want you guys to come in, relax, take your shoes off, come in my digital home, enjoy. I have some space next to me. Come sit here. Come sit next to me. All right, let's have a little story time. All right, so today we're talking about communication. I think people are trash at communicating. I think people are awful. All right, I've given you everything I felt honestly so far. I think being honest is hard for people, and I think that's the biggest part of communicating. Is how can I tell you this truthfully? But people are trying either to not hurt your feelings or they're trying not to feel bad. People don't want to say the truth because they might feel bad. I'm like, tell me the truth. I don't care how that makes you feel. It's kind of mean. Like, will you tell me the truth? God damn it. All right. Does this dress make me look fat? Yes, but that's okay. That's fine. So you look fat. So what? I see them rolls. Give me them rolls, girl. Got no problem with that. All right. It's okay. All right. So anyways, nobody likes somebody who lies. All right. Nobody likes a liar. Nobody likes a liar. But then I always ask, why do people lie? All right. Some people lie just for themselves because they're bored. Usually people lie for selfish reasons because they want something that you have. They're trying to be manipulative. Ego reasons. People lie to make them feel, like I said, feel good. Some people lie purely because they want to see how creative they can be. All right. Some people lie out of self-defense. People have all these amazing reasons to lie. So I think that part of communicating. So what I learned years ago is that there's a few steps to communication. Okay, there's actual speaking, listening, thinking, and responding. See, the part that gets missed is the listening to thinking part. People just talk. We just talk at people, right? Like I'm talking at you right now, but if you're not taking it in and thinking about and processing it, then I'm just talking and there's no listening and there's no responding back. So I think that, because you see this all the time, right? Of course, this is the best example is when someone's talking and it makes us want to say something, right? Somebody sparks something and so we start thinking instead of listening, right? And then you're like, ooh, I got this hot shit I want to say right. Oh, I got this hot fire that I want to say right now. And it's so dope. I'm about to jump in on what homeboy speaking. Now, I was really bad before, like cutting people off. I used to do it all the time because I'm like, oh, you just sparked a thought. I still do it. Let me not say I used to do it all the time. I still do it often. And then I'm always like, hey, so sorry for cutting you off. Do you like cheese? Because it's never anything that was as good as what we were talking about. It was just made me think about this and I want to say it now. But it's also rude as shit, right? It's very rude. So I had to always tell myself to listen sometimes. You have to. Sometimes you have to tell myself, oh, keep listening. You have a thought, but keep listening. This person's literally, mouth is still moving while they're talking. Okay, let me get back in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I missed what she said 10 seconds ago, but I'm back now. I'm pretty sure she said something about whatever. I'm back in here. All right, you got to do that to yourself. And they got what? So explain to me what you were just saying, but you got to say a little more clever than that. You got to can you go a little more in detail about that? And then they'll be like, oh, well, yeah. People love to hear themselves talk, like me right now. The best part about this podcast is I get to hear me, right, Cam? Shout out to Cam at Transit Pictures. All right, Cam produces the podcast. Transit Pictures is where I'm at. They set up this lovely orange. This would be the worst couch to have sex on. It'd be all hot and you stick to it. Yeah, this would just be awful. Like if this is such a random tangent. Yeah, you have to peel yourself off it. You be like, oh yeah, was it good for you? Ah, shit, all your back hairs left on the couch. All right. Anyway, we're talking about communicating. So look, I think that those are the steps of communication, and I think that people usually miss that listening, thinking about what you want to say first, then respond when it's your turn to say something. Like, this should be a pause after you speak. I try to do this a lot. I try to go, yeah, you know what, blah, 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 blah. Because I could take in what they said, process all that shit, and then don't just say the first thing that comes out your mouth. So, man, like, think. My mom used to always tell me think before you speak, because I would probably say that dumbest shit. And I still say dumb shit all the time, but it's different dumb shit now. Right? So look, I don't believe this too. There's always that thing about there's not a dumb question. There is a dumb question. A dumb question is a question you didn't think about. Right? Like, there's a lot of questions out there you can answer. You ever ask somebody something and it's like, oh, I see it right there. Right? Like, you didn't even take a second to think. You know? You ever try to figure out that door and you can't push? And it literally says right there, it says pull. But after that sixth push, you're like, what is wrong? And you take a step back and you go, oh, it says pull. I didn't see the pull sign. I know it. Now I can read. I wasn't thinking. You're goddamn right. So thinking is the best, most important part about communication. Yeah, I think that the relationship that you have with whoever you're communicating to is big. Talking to a stranger and being honest is challenging for people. And I understand that because you may not want to let somebody necessarily know that you're a jerk. You don't want to let somebody know the deepest depth, parts of your mind are usually where you go. But think about this. Think about communicating as connecting. I used to have this problem with networking, right? I used to hate the word network. I was like, oh, I don't want to network with people. And somebody would tell me like, well, you're not networking, you're connecting with people. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I like connecting with people. And I think of the same thing with communication is like, I'm not just communicating. It's not just talking, but it's connecting. And that really, it sounds dumb, I think, but it really changed the way I talk to people. So now, besides eye contact and all that good stuff and having half a smile so that you look interested, I go like, yo, how can I connect with this person forever off of this conversation? You know what I mean? And that's what I was thinking about. Like, this one conversation is the beginning of whatever kind of relationship that it will be, right? Like, what? And this is purely for stranger. It gets a lot harder, I think, with like family and spouses and stuff like that, right? But purely off of some stranger stuff, it's like some stranger things. Purely off of, but damn it! All right, last tangent, Cam. Dave Chappelle ruined the word stranger for me because I found out that a stranger. He was like, you ever give yourself a stranger? So when you sit on your hand and then until it goes numb and then jack yourself off. All right, it's purely inappropriate. But have you ever heard that? No. But so, hey, Chappelle did that in a sketch and it ruined the word stranger for me forever. So anytime I hear a stranger, I think of somebody jerking off with a numb hand. Isn't that awful? Now I just ruined the word for all of you. And that's how you keep it paying forward. Keep it going for. All right, anyways. So when you're talking to a person you don't know, try to really have a human connection instead of just a conversation. All right. So when it comes to family, I've had to do this with my family. I think people like this comedian, my man Clayton Thomas, said this to me. He was like, "Yo," he said, "Hold on, let me get the phrase right. I don't want to mess up his words." I got the bottom part, breeds disrespect. Was it closeness? Affiliation? He said, I always fuck up this word. He said, familiarity breeds disrespect, right? And it's like the closer you are to somebody, for some reason, the ruder you can be to them, and the ruder people are, and that's backwards as hell. Like how are you not nicest to the people who are closest to you or who love you? I was working at the Flyaway once. I used to load luggage for people, and this person was coming down the little lane, and she was cussing out her husband, cussing them smooth out. It was actually really funny. She was really clever. I've never heard so many different swear word combos like that. I was like, oh, she's a pro. This guy hears that all the time, right? And she came down cussing him out, and she came to me, and she was like, I'm so sorry about that. We're just having a stressful day. How was your day going? I was like, wow, whoa. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, this guy sleeps next to you. He could kill you anytime he wants to. And I was like, I wouldn't blame him right now. You got a horrible mouth on you. I wouldn't have no problem if he killed you in your sleep. I'm like, I get it, man. I get it. But she was so nice to me and so rude and disrespectful to her husband. Now, granted, hey, they could have had an argument the whole way, which is probably they argue a lot, if to be that comfortable yelling at somebody. But I was like, that's never how I want to do anything. I never want to be nicer to a stranger than I am to my wife, than I am to my mom, to my brother, to my dad. Well, maybe not my brother so much. Nah, just kidding. But not to anybody. You know what I mean? I'm like, the people closest to you, the people we should be showing the most respect at all times. But I do think that you set those boundaries, because I've had to have tough conversations with my parents about who I am and who they think that I am. Right? Because there's a moment when you become an adult and you're like, hey, guys, I know you still see me as a kid, but let me tell you, I'm out here in these streets, right? I do grown up stuff. I'm an adult. And it takes time for people who seen you as a kid a long time to become an adult. But you have to be honest sometimes and have tough conversations. And I think people are scared to have tough conversations. And it's like, oh, an uncomfortable conversation, a stressful conversation, a tense conversation, not an argument. A tough conversation will lead to so much peace later on when everybody's on the same page. And I don't think people see the value in that. Most people don't want to talk because they don't want to start a fight. They're like, I know, because if I say this is going to start an argument. And I'm like, well, you guys are bad at communicating. And this is why people go to therapy, because it's somebody who's like, hey, you're arguing right now. Like, settle down. Like, I know not everybody can take their emotions out of what someone says. When I get upset, I got to be like, hey, I need a minute. Like, I need a second, okay? Because I'm getting upset and I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want to call you your name. I'm going to go punch this pillow, and then we can come back and we can have a conversation, right? We can talk. We can connect as human beings. So when I had talks with like my parents about stuff, I'm like, hey, listen, this is zero disrespect, but this is how I feel. This is how I saw. That's how every convo is going to be tough. This is how I feel. And tell me if you agree, disagree, or how you feel. I feel as though blah, 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 blah. Right? And then they're supposed to go, I hear you. Yeah. Okay. That makes you feel like this. Yeah. And they got to reiterate that so you understand exactly. Because you'll tell somebody something, they'll mix it all up. And you'll be like, yeah, man, I just feel like that, every time you come home late, it just makes me wonder. And then you go, oh, so you got a problem with me having fun? Like, no, that's not the word I said. I didn't say anything about you having fun. I said specifically about you coming home late. Oh, so I can't have a good time? See, once again, I didn't say any of that thing that you just said right now. I said something completely different, but you heard whatever you heard. It's like sometimes like repeating what somebody else just said it's a great it's a great tool. Because then I'm showing you, yeah, I'm listening, I'm engaged, and I fully understand what you're saying. Like, that's so important. That's such a huge part of communicating. You can do that with the same strangers you're talking about, the stranger danger that you're talking about. When somebody says something, just repeat what they say back. And they're going to be like, this person is a great listener. Like, this person is a pro at listening. That's so important. It's such a small habit. It gives you so much value to repeat what somebody says back to you, especially when things might get tense, when things might get heated. So they know that they're understood, that they know that they've actually been listened to know that you know exactly how they're feeling. That's going to save you so much stress like later on. I think that most lies are ego driven. Okay? Let's break this down a little bit. I think that when people lie, it's always for them. Like, I'm never going to tell you a lie. I had a buddy I can't remember what I was wearing. But it's the first time anyone ever told me I gained weight. He was like, hey, man, that shirt don't fit. And I was like, what you talking about, man? That shirt fits fine. He was like, nah, man, I can see your whole titty. And I was like, well, hey, man, I have pecs. And he was like, nope, not anymore, you don't. And we had this convo. And, yeah, we're comedians and we were joking, but it was the realest thing ever. Because this is what happens. Here's how I gained weight. I was in great shape once, and then I gained weight. And everyone kept saying, you still look good. You still look good. No, you're looking good. No one once was like, yeah, you fat, man. You're fat. No one ever said that to me because they didn't want to hurt my feelings. And my one friend who was like, yo, you fat. I was like, I got in the gym. Now, granted, I look fat now But I had lost like 70 pounds, had a baby, whole routine got messed up. Weight came back. It's going back down. Okay, that's a short version of that. All right, so later on, as you keep watching this podcast, you'll see me that I'm slimmer again. You see all this neck come back and all that good stuff. Okay, anyways. So I was just like, yo, we had a real conversation. It was the most honest someone been, and it made me go get healthier. But I was like, that's my friend. He could talk shit to me and tell me go get healthy, and it changes everything. But all that, you still look good, that's no. Stop saying that to people. Stop saying that to people. I don't want to be mean. Don't say nothing. Okay? But if somebody's like, hey, how do I look in this? Just be like, well, man, you're a little thicker than I remember you, I remember a time when you would have fit that no problem, but you got to tuck some of that fat in, man. All right? Now, only ask that to your friends. But people who are honest, I saw this this guy who was like a professional, people who dress people. He's whatever you call him, huh? A stylist. There you go. He's a stylist. Can for the win, baby. He was a stylist, and it was a big boy. And the guy was like, hey, man, what do you think about this? He was like, well, look, those shirt. He was like, that shirt doesn't match your body type, and I don't think those pants are right for you. But I do have something that's perfect for you. And I was like, wow, that was the nicest way he said, you're fat, man. I was like, that's the nicest way. He was like, you don't fit these clothes. It doesn't match your body type. And I was like, that's a real honesty. Because a dude could have just took the sale. He could have just been like, let me get that bread. You look great. But he was like, I have integrity. Let me be honest with this person. And that was to a stranger, And people, hey, biggest thing we got to stop doing is lying to ourselves. Lying to myself got me in so much trouble that I could have avoided by being honest with myself. You got to be able to be honest with yourself and have a real conversation with yourself. I learned years ago that I was a piece of shit. Learned I was an idiot. Learned I manipulated people. Did all that good stuff. Lied to people. Trying to get what I want and taking shortcuts. Did all that good stuff. Was trash. A trash person. Very selfish. Trying to get what I wanted to get. But I kept telling myself I'm a good person because I'm nice and I'm funny and I have a good smile and I'm charming. And I use all this other stuff to tell me that I'm a good person. So everything else cancels out. Like, no, dude, you're a goddamn villain. Not a super villain. Not even a good villain. Like not even someone who's trying to take over the world. You're like the Mad Hatter kind of villain from Batman. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. I'm just evil for some reason. Like, what's your goal? I don't have one. Come stop me. No. But anyways, so like that was one of the things I was like, yo, being honest with myself. And I tell this story in the very first episode about me being in jail. But that was the first time I was honest with myself, and I was like, yo, you're here because of you. Because that first night, this is why you got to do this is why 3 days of jail is perfect for everybody, okay? Because that first night in jail, I was like, man, this system sucks, man. Yeah, the cops gave me because I'm black. Yeah, man, I was blaming everybody but myself. And the second day, I was like, shit, jail ain't so bad. Yeah, this ain't nothing. Say nothing to me, man. I could do this, but whatever. And then the third day, I was like, I want to go home. Why? What? How did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? And then I was like, yeah, this is my fault. This is my fault. And then it just made me dive deeper into me, and it made me dive deeper into what I wanted to do, and it made me dive deeper to the person. I remember I called a bunch of people. I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry for any lie I ever told you. And I was like, you lied to me? And I was like, all right, I gotta go. Right? You gotta hang up right now and not expose your lie. So, like, you really, and I think being honest with yourself is like, that's how you determine how you want to be treated by other people. You go, I'm a certain person and that I deserve to be talked to in a certain way at all times. Like, no one's ever going to yell at me, period. You don't ever get to yell at me. You don't get to cuss me out. You don't get to do none of that stuff. Not to me. Hell no. But I would let people do that. Before, I used to let people walk all over me because I was never honest with myself and trying to be somebody people liked. I was trying to just be like, yeah, I'll take a cuss out if because I probably deserved it or my self-esteem was low. It was all that good stuff. I was like, all that went to me just trying to be honest with myself about who I am. I'm trying to be honest with my parents about who I am now. Or trying to be honest with your girlfriend or your spouse, man. People have such a hard time talking to their spouses. It's like the person that you said you're going to love forever, you can't have an honest conversation with. Like, you can't be honest with the person you sleep next to every day. Like, that's bad. I mean, that's backwards. That is backwards. Like go to a couples counseling. Like stop being shy to get better at communicating. Because everybody would tell you communication is the most important part, but nobody spends the most time doing it. I'm like, go invest your money in communicating. Go see a counselor. Go learn how to communicate better. That's what that is. No one's telling you that you're a bad person. It's like our communication is trash. And then you got to go be honest with yourself. If you keep cheating on your spouse and be trying to blame her, it's you or him. Be honest with yourself. I'm not really in here. I'm not really invested. I'm trying to stay for the kids, whatever it was. Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But all right. I think that most lying, anytime I ever lied, it was like to protect me from people. Anytime I've ever lied, it was because I wanted to feel like a good person. I lied to make myself look like I was doing more than what I was doing. I lied to tell people they looked amazing or they were amazing. I never told people how I really felt because I was just trying to serve my own ego all the time. And I took it as a pride thing that I lied to people. I was like, I'm such a good liar. Man, I'm a great liar. I used to be proud to be a good liar. Such trash. I'm not alone. Stop judging me. I'm not alone out there. But I always thought that like I was doing a good thing because I didn't know how to tell people the truth. And I thought that I didn't know that was a skill that kind of takes time to learn, is how to tell somebody honestly what it is without being a dick. I'm not saying go out there and just be honest and being blunt. Like, that's different. I don't like somebody who's just rude about, quote unquote, telling the truth. I'm just being honest, man. Like, there's a good way and a bad way, I think, to tell somebody good information that they would want to hear. And I think that anytime you tell somebody your opinion or anybody who asks you something, I would always suggest something else. You know what I mean? So like when I lost a bunch of weight, people would be like, or somebody asked me like, well, how am I looking? Or, that's always the weirdest one to get. Hey, what do you think about this? And I'll be like, man, it's hey man, if you like it, I love it, buddy. I tell people that kind of BS, But then I started telling people like, yo, certain things look better on your skin tone. You know what I mean? Like, I started like giving like real tangible things that people can take. And you can do that with anything. Like when me and my wife, when we talk, it's never some stuff like, I'm like, well, what do you think about this? And I'm like, hey, well, I think that you can spend your money on such and such, or, you can invest that back into what you want to do, or you can put that money in here. You know what I mean? It's like, I always tell her, like, I think you're spending money on bullshit. No doubt about that. But it's like, I can say, like, I don't agree with you spend your money on, or I can be like, well, here's some ideas that I think that you can spend better with your money. Or here's some ideas I think you can spend better with your time, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, don't just come with the blunt BS and no other offers. I think, like, if you're somebody that somebody respects and they're coming to you with a real a thing and a real earns to know your opinion, give them that and more, because they're actually looking for something from you. And I think that we don't do that enough. I think people just get out with what's easiest for them because it can save them some hurt feelings without having to give some actually good, tangible advice on the honest tip. All right? So that's what helps me talk to people honestly, is being like, yeah, man, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but what I do think is such and such and such and such. I think that would actually serve you way better. All right? You see how that goes, guys? You see what I'm talking about? I think people appreciate honesty. Cam, you appreciate honesty? Is honesty ever hard for you to take? If you're not being honest with yourself about the same topic. Yeah, man. If you're just kind of like, the person's like, dude, no, those shoes are ugly. And you're like, no, they're not. And you're like, yeah, they are. And you're like, maybe they are. And it takes time, man. Yeah, so anyways, my idea is this. It's like, you always want somebody to be honest with you, because that's not only going to help you be honest with yourself and push you further into whatever you want to do, because I think it helps you see things clearer, especially when you're trying to navigate through business, through your emotional life, like navigate through people. I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound like a bunch of bullshit. But like, when I wasn't being honest with myself, I allowed a lot of things to go by because I thought that it didn't matter, or I thought that my relationships with people were more important. How I made them feel was more important than how I felt. I prioritize somebody else's feelings over mine. And I think that happens in relationships a lot. People will be unhappy because they think, like, what if they speak up, it'll make someone else unhappy. And I don't think that's the case. I think that if you're in a healthy relationship, you want each other to be happy, and it's a couple conversations to have. And it's work. It's work. It's a continual thing. You have to keep having these conversations with each other and check in. I check in all the time. I'm like, hey, how you feeling? How you feeling about this? How you feeling about that? Like, there's certain things that can take a toll on you, from work. You want to go back to school, having a kid, finances. Like, it's always the same few things. The love life, huh? You satisfied, baby? All those those are things that you have to check in about, and it's okay to have an actual conversation about it. And after that convo, to go work on those things. Like, you got to go do that extra work, whether it's a counselor, whether it's going to go get some Viagra pills. Whatever the problem is there's answers for it. If you're coming a little too quick, you're not strong in the full force and fury that you used to have. Like, go take a pill, man. Like, this and even like, this is always taboo, man. And I feel like this is one of the worst parts. Like, let's talk about sex, guys. Let's talk a little bit about it. All right. I think this, like, if there's something that you like, that you might have liked later on after maybe you guys got together, like, you should be able to come to your spouse about it. Now, if you just want a threesome to have a threesome, that's whatever. You know what I mean? But if there's like a real thing that you might be embarrassed about, people don't want it. That's why people find weird stuff on their partner's, like, porn. They're like, yo, you been into this the whole time? And they're like, well, yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want you to think I was a creep, And as long as it's not like bestiality or pedophilia, it's probably not that bad, Like, there's no wonder, like, yeah, people want threesomes. Like, it's something people fantasize about, and people love feet, Tarantino style, something that people fantasize about. Like, I think it's one of those things that I should be able to come to my spouse without having to feel hesitant, you know what I mean? Or having to go hide in the dark corner, or whoever that you're dealing with. Like, those are the things that, that's why people go off and they pay prostitutes to not talk, right? Like, that's what it is. And it's like, those hard conversations are going to save you so much stress and make everybody, like, happier. And that's an example in that's an extreme example in relationships, right? But it's the same with business. It's the same with your family. Like, you got to go have these honest conversations, because it's going to make everybody on the same. We all understand the exact same thing. You understand exactly how I feel. You know my temperament about this thing. So there's no questions, And I think that once you don't communicate openly, you leave somebody room to disrespect you, to be, walk. Well, I guess walking over you would be the same as kind of disrespecting you in a certain aspect. But I think it just leaves people room to guess, to act on their own without you telling them. So you gotta literally tell people how to treat you. You show people how to treat you. You really do, whether they want to hear it or not. It's beef me and my pops. Somebody that we had at a certain point was like, "Hey, man, you still think I'm this, but I'm not. And if you keep talking to me like this, we're gonna have a problem." I mean, it's never gonna be physical. Of course not. That's my father. But people do. But anyways, people do kill their fathers, but not me. I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that these combos are tough to have, especially like parents, man. Parents got to chill. You got, hey, all right, so the last topic before I go. Parents, man. I got to realize that you're not better than your kids, especially when they get older. You are a person who don't know shit either. All right? Like, seriously, we got to stop this. Okay? This elitist mentality about being a parent. You're somebody's coworker that they hate. You know what I mean? Like, you got to stop this stuff. You're a regular person out in the real world, and you come to your parents. I'm like, I've realized this, like, oh, my parents are normal people. They do bad and good stuff also, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to – it also helped me, like, stop judging them because they think they have it all together, right? And then you be like, oh, they don't have it all together. No one does. Nobody does. So stop the elitist mentality, parents. Let it go. They're going to be the same playing field as you once they are young and mature like Cam. All right, who's 24 and got it all together. Makes no goddamn sense. All right. That's my whole spiel about communication. I probably missed a bunch of stuff. I just want people to be honest with each other. All right? It's going to make everybody's world and life better. Open, honest communication. Without hurt feelings. All right? Do it without the insults. Come from a loving place. I know that if somebody's telling me something and they generally don't have a reason to hurt me, it's probably coming from a loving place. So let me not take it bad either. All right? Because we take stuff bad for some reason. Somebody be honest with you and you'll take it, oh, you insulted me. Like, no, you gave your opinion, which is okay. Don't give you no unsolicited opinions. Shut the fuck up if nobody asked for it. All right? Nobody needs you just chiming in for no reason. Keep that shit to yourself until asked. And then add value to your opinion. See if you can't suggest something that might make something better for somebody. If their shirt don't match their skin tone, if they should invest their money into a 401k or whatever instead of buying a $300 pair of shoes or some shit. I'm just spitballing randomly, right? These are small examples, but Benny, if you and your wife you want to have an orgy, talk to her. That's a good idea. I wish I could actually see that combo though. Hey, look, I love you and you're great, but I want more of you. Yeah, I want like a whole bunch. I want like 7 of you. Yeah. Oh, we can get some guys in there too if you want. Yeah, sure. So with that orgy, boo, what we doing? Why you getting mad? What you getting mad? What you yelling for? No. See, I thought I could come to you about this, but clearly I should just keep watching porn in the dark. All right, that's the whole thing. All right, anyways, that's my short talk about communication. Yo, I didn't say this before, but put your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys communicate, or there's techniques and stuff that you guys have learned that you guys do. I just want to let's build each other up instead of always tearing people down. And I think that's one of the best ways is to come at somebody honestly. All right. Thank you guys. I'm out.